All right, let's get started here today. Thank you, everyone, for joining, and welcome to our info session on cybersecurity, data protection, and digital forensics certificate. My name is Mashroor Chaudhry, and I am the manager of sales and recruitment at the Chang School. Before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge the land on which Toronto Metropolitan University is built upon. Toronto is in the Dish with One Spoon territory. The Dish with One Spoon is a treaty between the Anishinaabe, Mississaugas, and the Haudenosaunee that bound them to share the territory and protect the land. I thank the Indigenous people of Turtle Island for their efforts to protect the land, and I deeply regret the past injustices they have endured. As Toronto Metropolitan University seeks to move forward in partnership with Indigenous people, I pledge to foster an environment that is more inclusive and welcoming of Indigenous people from all communities. Now, I'd like to go over a few items so you know how to participate in today's session. Your microphone is muted throughout the event so as not to disturb other attendees or the presenters. For the hearing impaired, we have automated captioning available, which you can access by activating it in the toolbar at the bottom of your screen. And you can submit questions to today's speakers at any time by typing them into the question box. We'll collect them throughout the session and address them at the end during the Q&A portion. Now, I'd like to introduce our speakers for today, Alex Furwarn, Academic Coordinator of the Certificate at the Chang School. Next, we have Isa Traore and Derek Costa, who are course instructors of the Certificate at the Chang School. Now, before we dive into our presentation, we'll do a quick poll with everyone. I'm going to launch the poll right now. It'll only take a couple of seconds if you can enter your answers. So the first question is, what motivated you to consider the certificate? And you've got career advancement, career change, skill building for current role, personal interest, and other. And then on the second question is your level of familiarity in the field. You can put in high, moderate, and low. So yeah, we'll leave that on for just a few seconds, and I'd welcome you once again to just quickly take part in this poll. It helps us provide some feedback to our panel here and also to our team. For those who are joining right now, we have a quick poll running. Just two questions for you to answer a quick poll. Motivations, goals for your interest in the certificate, and then what is your level of familiarity of the field? Okay, so we'll end and share the results right now. Career advancement is leading the way, and career change and skill building right behind that, and with some personal interest as well. And then we have most of our people with moderate basic awareness and some with low and no prior knowledge, which is totally fine as well. And you'll find out while we present. So now I'll invite Alex Furwarn, who is uh, a professor of computer science in the Faculty of Science and also a vice chair in the Senate. And we welcome Alex to go over a quick overview of the certificate. Welcome,
Sure.
Alex.
Thank you very much, Mashur. Sure, let's move forward. Next slide. So this is what we're covering today, but I want to emphasize something. So I saw from the poll that there are lots of people interested in learning more about it because actually for career advancement and career change, I kind of lump them in the same kind of category. There is an incredibly large need for cyber professionals within Canada, and actually it's around the world, but I'm going to focus on us. And the government is making a lot of effort to try and improve and increase the number of professionals that are actually working for our, including the Canadian forces. So th these are huge opportunities. However, you have to get the correct training so that you can actually apply what you learn in the way that people want you to apply it when you actually get to the job. So, the one thing that our certificate actually does that is probably better than other people is we have something called career wraparound support. So, whatever you learn in our certificate, we kind of stand behind it, and we stand behind you. So what you'll learn today is about the certificate itself, but our involvement in your life doesn't end there if you don't want it to. So we will actually try and help you get a job in this area. It's actually rather important that many of you get jobs in this area. So you read the slide yourself. Let's go on to the next one. There is a lot of help in you learning this material. One, it's fully online. There are 6 courses required, and it gives you the amount of time you'll actually be expected to work on these courses per week. The length is that's a dubious statement, right? So, yes, you could finish this in 8 months. A lot of people finish it in a year. But some people take much longer than that. So we don't push you, you push yourself. So you take the courses, you have to be synchronous with the instructor, but the number of courses you take at one time or how you actually go about this is largely up to you. And of course, there's the price, which no one likes to see, but there it is anyways. Next slide. Yeah, there are a lot of people who should take this course, but I would argue that, or this program, a lot of people who are probably not listed might want to consider it as well. So if you're a problem solver, these are largely problem solving tasks that you're involved with in the cyber world as well. So, and if you're really interested in delving into the nitty gritty of something, there's a lot of nitty gritty stuff in cyber to resolve. And if you're interested in on the protection side, there is a lot of management potential in this as well. So there are a lot of entry points, and your background to a certain extent doesn't matter. You may notice that we don't actually have prerequisites for this because we will teach you the components that you actually need to know with respect to the certificate. And people find this hard to believe, but we actually have people working in the Ontario government, at least, who went through this program and are perfectly happy in their employment. Next slide. So there's a few things that have become critical. If all of our certificates now in the sciences are being upgraded and have been upgraded to include versions of generative AI to assist you in actually solving some of the problems. And so we're not purists. We don't expect you to actually use only your brain for this. We actually expect you to use whatever tools are available to solve the problem. And certainly to a large extent, AI is becoming, you can't deny it's there. And so we have put a lot of effort into include components of generative AI in all the 6 courses that are involved in this certificate. Um, you we are going to introduce you to what we call best practices. So the instructors have worked in industry and know what those best practices are, but we've also had feedback from former graduates of our certificate who tell us what needs to change. So we have an advisory council that keeps this stuff current. So this is not legacy AI based with an AI add-on for changing your password. This is actually the nitty-gritty stuff. So next slide, please. The key here is well, actually both those are very important points. I've already alluded to the flexible speed. You can do this as quickly or as slowly within reason, meaning the courses have to be available for you to take and they run regularly. But apart from that, it's up to you. But the portfolio driven is rather important. None of us believe that much in the formal testing that universities like to get wrapped around. What we actually want you to do is performance-based skill showing. So when you actually can do something, we want you to capture that. And that goes into something called your portfolio, which is basically a large file of all the projects and all the things that you've done in the certificate that an employer might be interested in. And when we say we stand behind you, to a large extent, we stand behind your portfolio because your portfolio will demonstrate what you're able to do. And we found that that's rather a good way of putting your foot in the door with employers. Next slide, please. Um, there is a lot of support that the Chang School provides and this area provides in general. The program director, Anne-Marie Brinsmead, she maintains a rather large database of all the employers that have contacted us and many that she has found. Those will be available to you. Leads are often provided. And we will support you if you find your own lead. So if you need to get letters of reference, we will actually provide those for you, and we will help you with things like resume generation. So these are things that are beyond the cyber components of the certificate, but are what my colleague Anne-Marie has called wraparound support. There are financial supports available as well, but that's done through the Chang School, and you get all the resources available, information resources available at the university. And we have an active advisory group, meaning that they're interested in the certificate, and some of them kind of were grudgingly dragged into it and then saw the benefit of participating in our certificate. So a large bank actually, a number of years ago, approached the university and said they would never hire any of our certificate graduates, which I thought was funny because the same person was back a month and a half later asking where she could contact some of our graduates. So the market is expanding. Next slide. So you should peruse the website, see what the courses actually can what that are there and what you think about them. The biggest question we always get is, come on, I don't know anything about cyber. I don't know anything about networking. How can this be possible? And it's actually largely possible through the excellence of our instructors, the careful thought of the curriculum, and eliminating anything that actually won't help you. And so this boils down to understanding how a network works. We don't actually have any prerequisites about you understanding a network. We will teach you the parts that you need to know. And many students don't believe that. So the instructors and I have all come up with a kind of a line. We will give you a resource so you can read about it before you get there. But if you fail to read that resource, it's still fine. That's all I have to say on the matter. Next.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you
Oh,
so
that's it.
much, Alex, for that overview and sharing your insights. Now it's my pleasure to introduce one of our program instructors, Dr. Isa Traore. Isa is a master's in aeronautical engineering, and he also has a master's of science in computer engineering and a PhD in software engineering. Author of 5 books and 200 plus journal and conference papers and 5 patents in cybersecurity spanning biometrics, authentication, and anti-phishing technologies. He's also a frequent presenter at major cybersecurity conferences and invited keynote lecturer. And we are really happy to have Isa as one of our panelists here today. Welcome, Isa.
Thank you much for the introduction. I guess I don't have much to say on top of that. So just that I've been teaching in the certificate since the beginning, and it is a real pleasure for me to teach in this certificate program. It aligns very well with my interest in cybersecurity. And I established the Information Security and Object Technology Lab in 1999, so that's 27 years now. And through the lab, we had several graduates who went on to work in the cybersecurity industry, and some are even professors at universities and so on. I co-founded two cybersecurity companies. One of the companies is currently a publicly traded company in the TSX, and I like teaching cybersecurity courses, and I was involved, as I said, like since the beginning of of the program, and I have interest in all the courses in the program, but I teach two courses only, and but I have interest also in the evolution of those courses. The focus of what we try to do, as Alex mentioned, is to make the courses as accessible as possible. And we take into account that most of our students come with a very small IT background, even some no IT background. I remember like in one of the cohorts in the past, one of the students was coming from real estate. He was a real estate sales person, and he was able to adapt to acquire the necessary background and knowledge and go through a certificate and get his certificate handily. And so we put all the resources in place for that. And the as Alex mentioned, like we have all the documentation needed to get the background which is needed, which is mostly basic networking and knowledge. And so there are tutorials that we provide and for that. And then the way the courses are designed is that we are designed in terms of different modules where the material is available and through Brightspace, which is our online website and to present the courses. But also most of the courses have associated with them a lab. So these are asynchronous lab, but they are designed in such a way that all the steps and screenshots needed to go through the steps are provided. And the instructors also are available to support you. Like we are very responsive, like and help you through the process. And so everything is set up in such a way to make really it very accessible and easy to go through. So in terms of the materials that we cover, and so it's a good combination of different aspects of cybersecurity. So some of the courses, some of the early courses, for instance, focus on ethical hacking. And so you learn how to hack a network. And the reason why this is very important is if you want to, because your role is to be able to defend those networks, is to be able to do a good job in defense, you need to understand what are the tricks that hackers use. And so we teach you those techniques. And it is not just the concept, but it's also the practice. You use the tool, you apply them against, we have an environment which is set up, a virtual environment, but currently that's very standard, and where you get to practice hacking activities. So also related to that, we teach you about different network defense technologies, policies, architectures, and through different courses. And so we cover the whole spectrum. And the courses are updated progressively to take into account new technologies and new solutions and services that are coming out. And so we've been looking, so Alex spoke already about the AI components in the courses. So for instance, in one of the courses, we are going to update the course to take into account the new hacking, AI hacking tools, which just came out through companies like Anthropic and OpenAI and so on. So we're going to incorporate them. They are already like a part of the life cycle. So and we are going to include that directly in the courses. Yeah. So I think that's a short summary, and I'm available to answer to the questions.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Isa. You provided a really comprehensive overview of what our learners can expect when taking the courses, and also all the cool things that you're integrating, keeping it all current, because we know it's a very evolving space. So thank you once again for being with the Chang School, being with us here today, and sharing your experience and insights. So now it's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Derek Costa, who has 25 years of experience starting in Microsoft and went into IT in all different sectors. He's also a subject matter expert in IT and cybersecurity for the military and cybercom. Civilian In his civilian life, he works for Iron Mountain, for defense contractors, and his work experience has impacted many people, but I'll let him share that. Welcome, Derek.
Thanks, Mash. Hi, everybody. So as Mash said, I've been in the IT industry for a little over 25 years at this point. I did start out as a systems administrator, working across a number of industry verticals. For most of that period of time, I worked for a systems integrator and managed services provider. Throughout that journey in my career, I began to take more of a focus in security, which led me to then, beginning to focus more of my career efforts and continuing education in the security portion of the industry. I then proceeded to get a number of industry certifications and also take a couple of university certificate programs. I did get a professional certificate from MIT in cybersecurity. I had the privilege during that program to learn cryptography from one of the, I would say, legends of cryptography, Ron Rivest, which was the instructor for that particular portion of the program. I also have a number of other, I would say, national security related certificates from different programs at the University of Adelaide, which is the cyber warfare program that they have there, and terrorism and counterterrorism from Georgetown University. So I kind of always had an interest in security and national security in particular in the defense sector, which led me to about a little over 12 years ago join the Canadian Armed Forces as a Army Communication and Information Systems Specialist in the Canadian Army Reserve. I am still a member, an active member of the Canadian Army Reserve. I have participated in that capacity in a number of cyber-related activities over the years. One of our greatest achievements for the Canadian Armed Forces is we participate in an annual event known as Cyber Flag. That is a joint combined forces event with a number of elements across the Canadian Forces. So our Royal Canadian Navy, Army, and a few members from Special Forces units. We sent over those three teams to participate in the overall exercise, which is Five Eyes exercise. So that would include participants from Canada, Australia, the United States, the UK, and New Zealand. In that event, there are a number of agencies from all of those countries, most notably in the US, the US Cybercom. They are the host nation and the host unit for that event. And it is a competitive red on blue type of event. And we did very good in a number of years ago when I first started participating in it. We were able to win the top three positions on the podium. So first place, second place, and tied for second place, and then the third place to the host nation and unit, US Cybercom. So we kind of beat them at their own game. So we've got a lot of talent for a relatively small Canadian Armed Forces. So there's a lot of talent in the country and within the Canadian Armed Forces. And so we're always looking for anybody who's interested in that side of things. You can always reach out to me. I'm not here to recruit for the Canadian Armed Forces, but this program offers a great avenue if you're interested in that sort of thing. If you are interested in national security or working within a government agency, this is a great place to start. the program is well designed for people who have both, a technical background and non-technical background. There are many aspects or avenues of cybersecurity that one can get into, and some of the non-technical aspects could be governance and compliance, for example. So I encourage you to take from the program whatever suits you best, and you can apply towards a career path. We're here to help guide you, offer advice. We can make recommendations, and in some cases we can even introduce you to people that are in the industry that can also help open up doors or opportunities for you. So yeah, I mean that's what I have at the moment. I look forward to meeting everybody. Hopefully everybody here joins the program, and look forward to meeting you.
Love that. I always love hearing that story and your experience. It must have been a lot of fun in those competitions.
Yeah.
And thank you again for being here and being part of our program. So that ends our presentation portion. We can now open the floor up for Q&A. And I see we've got a lot of questions that are already in. Please put in all of your any other questions that you have into the Q&A, and we will get them chronologically. So the first one is it difficult to compete with people with computer science degrees other than diplomas or other diplomas and other boot camps?
Oh, well, let me start and perhaps so is it difficult to compete? Yes. Is it difficult to compete with computer scientists who have an undergraduate degree in computer science? It could be, depends on where their focus was. Most computer science degrees don't spend a huge amount of time on computer security or network security. So a computer scientist would have the edge in understanding the core technologies for networking, for example. However, most of that in the cyber world is bit twiddling, and that bit twiddling you can do too. We'll show you how. So there's a theoretical edge, but from what we've seen, our graduates who have no experience in computer science do very well. It was a number of years before the pandemic, but the Ontario, I was confused at one point about why the Ontario government would want to come to the Chang School. We thought they were trying to pitch some sort of Ontario government training to the Chang School, but it was a roadshow that their sort of internal hiring agency within the Ontario government was doing, and they were trying to recruit cybersecurity students. So they weren't doing that in computer science; they were doing that in the Chang School. So it gives you some idea that you'll be able to compete quite well. I don't know, it's if you have something to add.
Yes, I fully agree. So looking at it from the cybersecurity standpoint itself, there is nothing to be worried. I mean, about with respect to the average computer science student. In computer science, the focus is mostly on networking and programming and so on. Cybersecurity is covered, but in a very cursory way, and also more in a theoretical, in a theory perspective, concept and theory. So going in the detail, having a hands-on approach on things, using tools, and that's very limited in those programs. And that's what we cover. That's where our students really become very strong. And so I think from a practical standpoint, there's nothing to be worried about.
All right, next question is when working on our portfolio or classwork, I'm curious about the division of work that is done by ourselves and done with Gen AI. Around what percentage would you say is done with Gen AI and what percentage is done ourselves, if it's possible, give an estimate? So yeah, any one of those any one of you can answer that.
I don't know,
Maybe,
Derek, you
yeah,
teach those courses, so if you had to guess.
yeah,
Hmm.
ballpark.
That's a difficult question. Um, What is the root of the question? Are you looking for a percentage on like how much of the work in the work world is being done through generative AI nowadays, or are we talking about the on course load here?
Classwork.
Just classwork. I would say, most of your classwork, you should be, going through the material yourself, reading the material, performing all of the activities. It's I would say probably, the vast majority of everything that you're going to do course wise is all, um, you know, work that is related to the security architecture, design patterns, etc. The portion of it that is generative AI and um, AI related now in the program material, I would say it's maybe 10% roughly. So the material that is, yes, specifically generative AI stuff is probably about, it's the last module, I would say, maybe a little bit less than 10%. That is going to be probably expanded upon in the near future because of all of the advancements that are happening in AI rapidly now. But the rest of the material is mostly all architectural design patterns and practical application of those patterns into cybersecurity writ large, across a number of domains, the application security, network security, etc. So
yeah, and I can add also, since the courses are very practice oriented, so a lot of, many of the assignments have things that you're going to do, like for instance, testing a network. And for those type of activities, Gen AI will be mostly a contributor of information, like for instance, because it is done in a kind of open way, like everything is an open book. And so you will have a possibility, for instance, to use the Gen AI as a tool, like where you can go and get some information to help you in the process. But that's it. Like most of the time, it's going to be things that you have to think about it and practice yourself. A lot of the human aspect compared to the AI automated aspect, the human aspect is still very important in cybersecurity, despite all the progress done. Like still, there is a big reliance on human expertise, and this is still there.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the tools are great for automating things. They're not so great for, replacing human analysis. Is what we find. Even, in my daily professional life, it's great to automate scripts and stuff like that. Not so great to, perform analysis that humans are still a lot better at.
No, I love that. And just a little note on the courses is every course will also have cyber professional simulation activities in the form of labs with step-by-step instructions and best practices applications. And then also include small projects, including the capstone course. Students will do AI cybersecurity short projects in every course that can be used in the portfolio. So for the person asking the question about the portfolios, you can note that as well. While I have you here, Derek, I'll pose the next question to you. I know you
Sure.
can't obviously get into specifics, but anything else that you can share? Someone's asking, even if we are older, can we still help Canadian forces with our cybersecurity skills learned from this course? I'm not sure if you can still enlist at this age.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it depends. There is an age limit that the Canadian Armed Forces has for retirement. As long as you're enlisted and able to serve at least some reasonable amount of time before the age of retirement, then yeah, there is no limit on an enlistment age. As long as it's before that, retirement period, as far as I'm aware of. There's people that have recently enlisted that are older than me, and I am I'm in my late 40s. So yeah, I mean, there's I think still plenty of opportunity depending on the individual's age, on when they want to join and how much time they want to spend serving. Yeah, there's still lots of opportunity.
There are lots of civilian employees for the Department of National Defense as well.
D&D, yeah,
Probably way more than there are soldiers.
absolutely.
And there is no retirement age there at all. Being a veteran myself, I get called back occasionally, right? So they are good at seeing talent when they understand the talent.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And yeah, there's plenty of opportunity in the D&D, even within government agencies that are not directly national security related. Many different government agencies and departments, as you can imagine, fisheries, agriculture, et cetera, et cetera. They all need to have some subject matter experts that understand security configurations or governance, et cetera, compliance and government governance, and all those other non-technical areas as well. So yeah,
Love it.
lots of
Thank you.
opportunity.
Okay, next question is, given the rapid rise of AI-driven cyber threats and post-quantum cryptography, how are current trends like quantum AI security and PQC integrated into the program's courses?
Okay. I can start here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so the AI aspect, I think briefly touch on that, because if for AI you have to look at it from two perspectives: the defensive aspect and the offensive aspect. So the defensive is the defending the networks and so on. So this has been around for a long time, and we speak about it like in things like intrusion detection and so on. And the defensive and the offensive is kind of recent. Like it is only recently that people have started implementing AI agents to conduct attack, to find vulnerabilities and so on. And as I indicated earlier, like these are new tools, and we are in the process of integrating it in the curriculum. And then with PQC, the post-quantum cryptography. So we have a cryptographic course, but I don't think that we haven't integrated post-quantum in it.
Yeah,
so it's possible that at some point that this will happen, but currently we don't have PQC as part of a cryptographic course.
Great answer. Thank you so much, Isa. Okay, so moving along in the same theme, we've got lots of questions in this topic today with the AI automating parts of cybersecurity work and creating new security risks. What skills do you think will differentiate successful entry-level cybersecurity professionals over the next few years?
Well, one thing we keep seeing coming up is so your natural curiosity, if you have it, or your learned curiosity is actually very important because it tends to focus you on things that are actually important. So the shotgun effects of AI let it do many things all at once, but they're all kind of the similar importance. So the ability to be attracted to a key aspect is a very human characteristic, at least for the moment, and people are looking for that, right? So that not just differentiates us, but it lets us play in the field where lots of things are being automated by AI, things are being instigated by AI. So there are lots of black hat players out there who are trying to use these tools, and actually there's more opportunities coming up for humans simply because these tools exist. So there are many models of generative AI, for example, and determining which model is being used when you're being attacked often helps you get a clue to where it's coming from. And that is a very human activity, right? So sussing out what you're being attacked by. In fact, I had a recent engagement where I was asked to consider using 4 different generative AI models to kind of vote on what they thought was going on, which I thought was kind of curious, right? So here's a human trying to figure out the best way for AI models to interact. So that would be the opposite of what people are telling you should be happening, right? But so there's more opportunity coming because of this rather than less, I guess.
Yeah, and I can add to that, like the analytical mindset is important also, but it is something that you build up also with the time, and being critical and skeptical, even I would say, on things. But the assignment I designed also with respect to that to pose a problem and like push like critical thinking around it and but that's very important in cybersecurity and forensic, because it is all about analyzing things. It is all about connecting the dots and finding the signal in the noise. But that's I would say that's a human a skill typically. I mean, computers try to do it, but by the end of the day, the human analytical aspect is essential.
Love it. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. We do have a couple of questions regarding background, like if someone had a different background or if they have previous IT experience and a diploma, would this be a good enhancement?
If you have IT experience, it's a definite help. I mean, we don't expect you to forget everything that you already know. We want to build on it, right? But also, some things you know are human, right? So the ability to actually interact with people in the workplace is a skill that's transferable immediately. So if you had another job doing almost anything else, being able to communicate results or bad news or determining when something is critical or when it's not critical and should be ignored. These are all skills that people have from other walks of life. And they are infinitely reusable in this one. So I don't know if someone has more.
Yeah, pretty agree with that. Mhm.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, two questions that are pretty similar. I can combine them into one. One person's asking, are there particular industries in Canada that are hiring more cybersecurity professionals? Which is in the same theme of someone who's also asking if the certificate would help someone obtain technical roles only, or would it help someone get a role in IT auditing, risk management, or digital forensics. So, a little bit about what kind of roles and maybe what kind of industries in Canada are looking to hire more people and would
I
help
mean,
them.
I can start.
Yeah.
I mean, a broad range, like the banking and the defense, like as I mentioned by Alex and Derek. And so these are sectors where there is a big need of cybersecurity expertise. And also, I mean, government entities definitely, like many government, provincial and federal also are hiring people. So there are also companies like just regular companies, medium, small, and medium company who have a security, a networking department, they have to protect their asset. So many of those companies also hire from time to time in cybersecurity expert. Then looking at so the follow-up, the additional question. Can you remind me again? I had it in mind, but I just
Yeah, one of them is particular industries, and the other one is particular roles.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
I
yeah,
haven't I
yeah. You mentioned forensic and like digital forensic. So forensic is part of what some of the courses that we cover. Like I mean, with digital forensic, we approach it from two perspectives. We look at it from I would say the traditional or the broad digital forensic, where the idea is simply to look at any type of digital data and be able to collect this type of data in a sound way and analyze it. So this will be forensic application directly in the police, in I mean law enforcement and so on. And we look at it also from a cybersecurity perspective, like being able to participate in incident investigation. Like many of the hacking that we are speaking about, there is a lot of aftermath after the hacking. and evidence has to be collected, analyzed to find out how the hacking has happened, who did the hacking, like can we find this person, can we take it to justice and to court? And so there is an entire process around that, and so we cover this also. We look at hacking data, like being collected, being analyzed to extract useful evidence that can be used for to improve the network, but also in criminal investigations.
Amazing.
So I have an anecdote. It came in last year, and I never thought this would be the case. And I kind of call it Trailer Park Boys meets cybersecurity. We got an inquiry from a large grow op in Prince Edward County, illegal, they're all legal, that thought it was being hacked by someone because a lot of it's a basic hydroponics, but it's all computer operated. And they thought one of their competitors was trying to hack into their system. So they wanted recommendations for people they could hire to actually as full-time employees for the operation. As you can imagine, these are money-making operations to provide a defensive barrier for their hydroponics facility.
Wow.
And I never thought I'd, see the day when that was the case, right? But there it is. So I guess a better question is, where is cybersecurity not needed? Because it seems to be everything is connected, right? From your electrical components of your house to the water supply to basic milk production. All of these things are open to hacking and attack. So unfortunately, the opportunity for growth is large in this area.
Go ahead, Derek.
Yeah, so I just want to kind of on that topic, and as it relates to AI and how it kind of plays into the general trend or direction that cybersecurity is going. If you look at some of the recent trends that are happening on the world stage, our neighbors to the south have very recently had a number of their cities water their public water systems, critical infrastructure had been hacked. There's a very recent announcement by the administration there that they would like to now privatize the policy of hacking back, and all of that kind of ties into the democratization of AI, and a lot of these models that were previously closed models that were controlled by a handful of very large global entities, Google, XAI, et cetera, Anthropic, and so on. Some of these models have now become open source. They're democratizing. Some other nation states are also open sourcing some of this stuff. So what all of that is to say that the more that happens, the more that this technology falls into the hands of everybody, and it can be used for good or it can be used for nefarious purposes. It will only contribute to the necessity for more and more cybersecurity professionals to defend critical infrastructure, to defend private enterprises, to defend government agencies, and so on. So everything is kind of trending in that direction. So it looks like to me AI will help us automate as defenders and as white hat hackers, etc. But there's going to be a lot more work needed to defend all of our existing systems from the democratization of AI in the wrong hands, right? For nefarious purposes. So there's lots of work to be done.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I know we're a little bit over time, but this was all great, great information. Thank you for sharing everything. If you have more questions, I know we are at time, but I will be sharing my contact information so you can reach out to me and we can get those answered to you. But at this moment, I'd like to just extend my thanks to our panel for joining us and thank everyone else that are here for taking the time out of your day on a Friday evening to join us for this info session. If you're interested in learning more about the cybersecurity certificate, please go to our website at continuing.torontomu.ca. And you can email me directly at mash.chaudhry at torontomu.ca. All of the information we shared will be sent to you via and the recording of this session will be sent to you via an email. And please look out for that in the next 24 to 48 hours. And on behalf of everyone here at the China School, thank you for joining us today and have a great rest of the day and enjoy your weekend. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.